Hey, what's up? Are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the War Plan Briefing. My name is Josh. Today, we're going to talk about how hustle grind culture could ruin your life. You ever see this guy on the internet? His name's Grant Cardone. There's another one named Gary Vee, and then we could fill in the blank with 1,000 other people, 22-year-old life coaches, all these business gurus, fintech influencers, finfluencers. There's all these people that say you can get rich and do nothing. You got to hustle grind. All you got to do is this, that, and the other thing. And it's this overwhelming, ubiquitous membrane on America saying, hustle grind, get your $1 million, get your $10 million, get your jet. Oh, you're a loser. You just got a Honda jet? No, you need the $100 million jet. And it's this endless, insane pursuit of stuff. As a high-achieving person that wants to grow, I believe God created everything to grow and expand and to multiply. I believe that. There's something off with this vibe, with this culture. And so I want to talk about it today because I think the 10X mindset crowd has a lot of negative implications to a small business owner. Now, I don't think it's bad to want to grow. And I want to be really clear. There's a lot of things that Grant Cardone has said that I think are super useful pieces of information. I think he's a smart guy. He's a successful person, at least in certain categories of his life, which maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. But one of my general rules I try to live my life by is I don't want to take advice from someone I wouldn't trade places with. You know, you got to look at people in terms of categories. And if you have a neighbor who's, really, really good with small engine repair, he's the guy you want to talk to when your lawnmower won't start. But he might be a raging alcoholic who's a terrible husband and father who's been bankrupt 17 times. Okay, we're not going to get parenting and marriage and financial advice from him, but he can fix our lawnmower. I look at Grant Cardone's and the Gary Vee's sort of like that. But the other way I look at these people is through the lens of a marketer. Because I am a marketer, I understand behavioral psychology, how the human mind works. I understand how to get people to buy stuff. How do you get strangers on the internet to buy things? There's ways to do it. There's dials you can turn and buttons you can push and levers you can pull. And these people are masters at manipulating you, the viewer. Masters. They are like the top of the game in terms of what they say without saying it. And so these little catchphrases like 10X, they're designed to plant, it's called seeding, to plant seeds in your head to make you feel like you need to do that to be successful. What it does, it creates a false binary in your head. And so what you start believing without realizing it, like I'm not as successful as I want to be. I'm discontented with my bank account today. It's Tuesday. Oh gosh, I need to 10X it, right? And there's value in like increasing your inputs so you can get more outputs. There's value in doing more work. One time I worked with a small business owner and he said, man, I've been marketing like crazy and my business won't grow. And I've only did 50,000 in revenue. He had this tiny little service company. And I asked him, well, how much while you're doing the service? And he said $100 an hour. I said, okay, that means you've worked 500 hours for the whole year, for this year, doing the thing. A full-time work week is 2,000 hours a year. That's 40 hours a week times 50 weeks, 2 weeks off. What about the other 1,500 hours? And that guy, in that case, he needs to 10X his work and his grinding, right? So unless you're lazy, the 10X only has limited upside for you because what it does is it helps you, it falsely creates this idea in your head that the problem is just 10Xing, working harder, sweating more. But what if you're working on the wrong things? What if there's no nuance? What if you burn your family to the ground in the process of you endlessly pursuing more? Good people do this on accident all the time. A lot of men do it on purpose. They pretend like they're trying to sacrifice by working for their family, but the truth is, between you, me, and I guess just the two of us here, the truth is that you're using your career as a way to hide from your family. You're using work as an excuse to hide from the responsibilities you have at home as a father, and this happens all the time. But isn't it nice that society will pat you on the head and say, look at you, you're a little 10X hustler and grinder. You're a good little boy. Yeah, good job. And if your wife doesn't support you, screw her. You can get another one. You know what? You're a loser if that's the way you look at it. You're a loser and you're a failure and you're a drag on society. You're a net negative person to the world by being like that. And that's the problem with this 10X mentality. Now, if you are doing something that works and you want to amplify it, then that's good. Let's do that. But we have to do it in a way without sacrificing the things that actually matter in the first place. There's no amount of success in business is going to compensate for you destroying your family and raising kids that are entitled brats that produce no value to anybody. Do you want to have a bunch of trust fund babies? Do you really want to trade places with people like Gary Vee and Grant Cardone who work 23 hours a day? Do you really want that? Can't you feel the vibe? Now, there's some good information. They know lots of stuff. Again, they're good in the category of expertise that they have, but that's not painting a whole mosaic of the whole picture of the way that being successful as a human is. It's only a narrow category. I also think the idea that money will satisfy you like you think it will is completely fake. It's not real. Come on, let me level with you. There was a time when you didn't have $1,000 and then you did, and it felt pretty good, right? There was a time when you didn't have $10,000 and then you did, and it felt pretty good, right? Yes, it feels pretty good to an extent, but there is more than one study that's been done and proven that happiness itself does not correlate with money above a certain number. I think it's like $80-something thousand a year. There's not a one-to-one correlation between more money and happiness. Now, if you're living under a bridge and you're homeless, and then you go to having an apartment and a car and clothes and food and a shower, yeah, massive upside to getting enough money to do that. Massive. And sacrificing to get it's good, but there comes a point where, things are okay. We got to ask ourselves why we're pushing so hard, why we're pursuing this. If you feel that it's your God-given purpose to achieve this huge outcome for your mission, mandate, purpose, and destiny, that it's a call on your life, that you've been anointed to do this big exploit, then that's fair enough. And you're going to have to work and grind for that. And you hopefully have a spouse and you're a clear enough communicator to get her on board with that, to achieve that outcome. That's good. But for most people, what we do is we hide at work. We listen to all this content all day from these people who are master marketers that know how to push buttons, play with your emotions, pre-frame and seed you and future pace you in a way so that you edify them, obsess over them, think that you're getting smarter when you're really not, because you're not even being productive by listening to them in the first place. You're just being busy and wasting time. Look, there's probably some small, simple things that need to be done in your business to make it better. Right now, you're just procrastinating on it. Go do those things. Make a list of those things. Get your head out of the sand with the obvious. Are you doing the basics? Do you have clean books? Do you have a marketing plan for 2023? Have you enhanced your sales process? Have you invested in some courses or mentorship or coaching to learn particular skills to fill in the gaps for you? Yes, go do those things. I want you to 10x it in that regard. But you see, these sneaky little phrases like 10x, they get in there and it gives you this permission slip to act like an idiot and do 10 times more of something that's already not working while still avoiding the obvious. I don't want that to happen to you. And if you allow it to happen to you, it can ruin your life and burn your family to the ground. So in summary, money does not satisfy like you think it will. And you getting a private jet will not satisfy like you think it will. These are moving targets. They're moving targets. And when you get the money, it's cool for a minute and then it's not. And you'll move the yardstick and then you'll die. And you'll lay on your deathbed like everybody does with the same list of regrets, saying, I wish I would have loved my family more. I wish I would have spent more time with my kids. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have been more generous. I wish I wouldn't have thought so much about what other people think about me, right? There's this concept called a status oasis. Most humans do almost everything they do for status, either to preserve and protect their current level of status or for the opportunity to increase their status. This is why luxury brands exist. This is why men want a beautiful woman, because it increases their status. It's why women want a successful man, because it increases their status. And, people like Grant Cardone that have these private jets or they're doing this stuff, they have this presence or they project this certain level of status. And you're not bad for wanting to increase your status, but you got to understand that when you reach the next level of status, it doesn't scratch your itch like you think it's going to. It just doesn't. It's cool for a minute, but then you move the yardstick. So I don't think growth mindset is bad, but I think believing the lie that achieving these milestones will change how you feel about yourself inside is the trick. I think that's where the rub is, because it doesn't. Here's my question for you. Who do you have to become today to show up as you need to at home and at work to maximize what your potential is, right? How can you have your cake and eat it too? Because this idea that you choose one or the other is not real. You don't have to do that. A lot of people choose this, and society claps and cheers for them, and society will make excuses for them. But if you're a Christian entrepreneur like I think you are, then you already know, you can feel the spidey senses as I say this, that that's a mistake for you. So this is actually an encouraging video, believe it or not, because I want you to grow and expand, but I don't want you to get pulled down the trap by these master marketers that know that you and all these millions of men all around the world are walking around with their umbilical cord looking to plug it into someone who has more certainty than they do. And then they're like a puppy dog waiting to take a drink of water from the mouth of Gary Vee, and they think that they're doing something. You're not doing something. Read quality classic business books, put in the work, be diligent and persistent, love your family, walk in faith, and things are going to go really, really well for you. And you know what? At the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, you're going to be really, really proud, because you're going to raise kids that are more successful than you even thought they could have ever been. And at the end of the day, that's what makes it worth it. Hey, if you're getting value out of these videos, let me know. If you hate the videos, type a little comment. I'd love to read that too. Constructive criticism and feedback is useful. But subscribe, like it, share it with your men's group, share it with somebody that needs to hear it. There could be somebody that's about to walk down the wrong path with this stuff, and they're looking at it just a little bit wrong, and maybe this could help them. It's your moral obligation to share it with them now that you've heard it. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.